course. He's mad. What's he mad about? That's right. It's wokeness in D&D. D&D hires a dozen sensitivity consultants. That's the video. Almost 20 minutes on the subject. I'm sure it will be filled with things that change my mind. What is not going to change my mind, though, is this facial hairstyling. What the fuck's going on? He must have done this himself in the bathroom. This side is way thinner than this side. You need to get shaped up. You need to go to your barber or whatever. You need to get this taken care of. It looks dirty. It might just be his hair color at this point, but it looks like it's dirty on the ends.
It's been a little while since Wizards of the Coast has stubbed their toe, but...
So long I'm white in the beard and more divorced than ever.
I think they may have.
I love this place!
That was the opening? That's so sick, dude. Holy shit. Woo! Starting off hot, brother. Man, ooh, I got goosebumps from that opening.
How y'all doing? Hope you're doing well.
Great.
That's right. Back in March, I think it was Gary Con, Dan Ayub, the head of D&D, actually apologized to Luke Gygax.
Smoking blunts was a daily
Buckle the
routine
fuckle up,
since
Chado.
13.
A grown man
I was
is
a fat kid smoking weed too.
gonna complain about tabletop games. Yep. This guy's got a gripe, and we're gonna listen.
And that was for the shabby way that the company had treated the legacy of Gary Gygax. So that was a good first step. A lot of people, even folks like me, we're open, and just saying, hey, all right, let's see where this leads. Well, it doesn't seem to have led anywhere productive or good if Dan Ayub's latest post on D&D Beyond is to be believed.
All right. No offense. I'm going to have to speed your old ass up. You are really hard to listen to at normal speed. Let's try 1.5 and see if that feels fast. Probably won't.
Let's look at that a little closer. And here's that same Dan Ayub
Totally
introducing
fine.
the D&D Community Advisory Group.
Totally fine.
Uh-oh. If that doesn't set your spidey senses tingling, just look at the D&D Beyond, the old pandering rainbows, as we like to call them. It is June as I record this, so we are in full pander mode. So yeah.
Hey, why don't you write a script or something if you're not good at just off-the-cuff content? I have an editor. You'll see it get cleaned up. The version you're seeing on YouTube right now that has more views than your video, you have seen a cleaner version of this. If you want to go to the dirty version of this, the one with all the totally uncut and uncensored, you got to go to Twitch for that, okay? Otherwise, my editor, who knows what she cut from this? Probably breathing, mouth noises, and other annoying things. But this could be you live. You could experience all my noises live.
So the Community Advisory Group. Now this supposedly stemmed from the Winter Community Survey. And Dan says that 3 things came through consistently in that survey, that people wanted trust, game quality. Gee, imagine that. They wanted the company that sells them games to make good games. What a foreign concept. And value, especially for D&D Beyond subscribers. Under game quality is honoring the legacy while strengthening what's next. That honoring the legacy is a nod to old grognards, of which I suppose I am a proud member of. And of course, here he is crowing about his apology to Luke.
Dude, he's so zoomed in on this. He's got like old man zoom going on so he can read the text. And so everything's really squished and we're getting tons of header. It's like a third of this, maybe more, is just header. Because he did this shit. Fucking 500. There you go, chat. How's this? We'll put him down here. He'll get a third of the header on this end. And then we can... Header, I hardly know. Shut up! How dare you? Have some decorum.
Gygax, which day by day is ringing a little more hollow, especially when he introduces to us the D&D Community Advisory Group. Last summer, he shared that they were forming this group. That totally passed me by. Talking about bringing in trusted community leaders into the room early so they can help stress test decisions, creative decisions. Oh my lord.
So he does edit these videos? That looked like a cut right there. Why?
Surface risks. What is a surface risk? I don't know about that. And make better calls before things are final. All right, so what you're looking at here is just a bunch of sensitivity readers. They have handpicked a bunch of sensitivity readers. It says they brought together a variety of creators. Some of them have made D&D and other RPG material. Others I don't know where they pulled these people out. Maybe the subways or something. WPN store owners, event organizers, community builders, educators. Yeah. Formed in December, it looks like, and they have met with leads across the team to discuss early product concepts and D&D Beyond tools and to challenge their approach. Dan is telling us, before we see who these folks are, that they do compensate them for the time as they would any professional consultant. I got a bit of amusement from the professional consultants, as these are some of the most profoundly untalented people. So here's a couple.
So he's very mad that these people are being hired. Pretty much every time he makes content about Wizards of the Coast and D&D, he's mad that someone else got a job making this RPG. Why not try to make art yourself, sir? Is it just too hard? Is it too arduous? Does it take too much of your time and brain power? Do you simply not have the talent or drive any of these people do?
David Christ, rumored to be part frost giant. Yep. The bald man.
Yep. The bald man. He's bald? Okay, take the hat off, buddy. Take the fucking hat off before we're calling other people bald. Rumored to be part frost giant and having a wicked pants allergy. I also don't like pants. They're prisons. The bald man organizes some of the biggest conventions, D&D events, and organized play programs in the world.
Man, I think I've seen that name before. It's at big conventions. I think he actually organizes D&D games, for like conventions. You know what? Of all people, this is probably one guy that they might want to listen to because he probably has the ear of a lot of players, maybe. And
oh, you like the first hire? Hell yeah, let's go, dude. That's because it's a man, of course.
And probably hears a lot of scuttlebutt. So actually,
it's a bald man. Maybe that's why. Maybe he was celebrating bald man. He said it with a little stank on it, but maybe he respects other bald men.
I have no problem with the first guy on this list. But you get to folks like Donna Ricci, the owner of Geeky Teas and Games, who enjoys bad board games, good video games, Terry Pratchett novels, cats.
Cats? Yeah, who doesn't like a cat? What? You guys don't like cats? If you don't like cats, what's the deal? They're just cats. What's not to like about a cat? Huh? We like dogs. We like cats. So I like all sorts of animals. I got sad when I saw a dead squirrel in the road today. He's just a little guy trying to get his nuts, and he should have been allowed to have them. We should have squirrel bridges everywhere between the trees.
Hating for mental health. Oh, boy. And hitting people with
advocating for mental health. Oh, boy. Yeah, something this divorced man could not use. Definitely can't use an improvement of his mental health. Anyway, here's 20 minutes on why I'm mad as fuck.
For weapons. Future Londoner. Womp, womp, womp. Basically just a game store owner. Jen Kretschmer.
Just a game store owner. Just someone whose entire livelihood is this hobby.
Let's go back to Jen in a moment. Kelly.
Let's go back to Jen? I think I'll read it now. I think I'll go to reading this right this second because I would like to know, because it's chronological. Let's just learn. Jennifer is an award-winning game designer, author, actual play performer, television actor and producer, and disability consultant, as well as the creator of the Accessibility and Gaming Resource Guide. Oh, he's not going to like that at all. That's why. Let's go back to that later, because Accessibility and Gaming Resource Guide is bad. This person with all these accolades, bad.
Kelly Lynn Angelo, Tuscarora writer, veteran online DM, Legend of Vox Machina. I recognize.
Legends of Vox Machina, Miracle Workers, Final Space, Candlekeep Mysteries. What the fuck? They got so many good people.
Some of these names. Candlekeep Mysteries was terrible. Now, as you can see, Kelly Lynn did D&D in a castle. I guess she was one of the DMs. That D&D in a castle is one of the biggest scams ever. Basically just a way to bilk D&D whales, probably physical but more financial too, out of their money so they can go play games with Kelly Lynn D'Angelo and Ginny D and people like that and pretend that it's worth it. And of course you notice the pronouns here. She's a she.
Having fun on vacation with your friends playing D&D in a castle sounds pretty cool. Me and my friends meet up sometimes to play D&D. We did it on a beach house once, and we played D&D, and we went on vacation together. It was great. One of my favorites.
He, her, they. Got to add that they on the end.
Well, gender is a social construct. So, yeah. Yes, you do. If it provides you with a sense of quality self-expression in describing yourself with they, them pronouns so wokely, then do it. Especially if it makes divorced really upset. In fact, more people, gender abolition. Abandon your genders. Cast them aside. He's going to get so fucking mad, dude. He doesn't even fucking know what he's talking about.
Of course, we have Kelly McLaughlin, who's half of the Dungeon Dudes. Monty Martin is the other half. I'm not a fan of the Dungeon Dudes. I don't like the channel.
I'm going to be honest. No shade. Not for me either. But they seem nice. Maybe if I was starting out, I would be more interested in something like this. I do like people like Bob the Builder. He's pretty good. I like his demeanor. I've been giving Mystic Arts a shot. Dottie seems like he's got a interesting take, and he's more of on like the homebrew end, which is kind of my shit. I dabbled with some of the Dungeon Coach's homebrew stuff for a little bit back in the day. I don't really watch him now, though. He has Chud vibes. I don't know if that's true. Hope not. But other than that, Ginny D's cool. I don't really watch a ton of her content, but she has, excellent advice, especially for players. And she's got cool cosplay shit going on. Anyway, all of these people are heavily involved in the hobby, and makes a lot of sense to involve them.
I think it's a crap channel, and it's actually kind of dying, as I revealed in a live stream a couple of weeks ago.
I'm sorry. This massively more popular channel is dying. Like I said, I'm not even a fan of theirs, but I mean, shut up. What? They do a ton of other stuff. Any award-winning adventures? They author stuff? Maybe the YouTube channel isn't their only thing. Maybe they're also working for fucking D&D. You know?
They are getting, for their subscriber base, not a lot of views on their most recent videos. So I would be concerned if I were the Dungeon Dudes. There's Michael Shea. Just like Jen Kretschmer, we'll go back.
I would be less concerned if I was hired by Dungeons and Dragons to participate in the hobby I like. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, chat. There is a world in which I hopefully would work with someone less like D&D and more like the Critical Role people or something. There's a world in which I make, even if it's just self-published, enough money off of this book if you guys are interested in a supplement to your home games, because it is a D&D adjacent situation. I mean, I would definitely fucking be into that. I have tons of homebrew for everything. It'd be like a deluxe situation. Anyway.
Michael E. Shea, a.k.a. Sly Flourish. But just a few others here. Nala J. Wu, proud, multiple marginalized freelance art director, layout.
The fuck did you say it like that?
Designer, sensitivity, cultural consultant. Oh boy, looks like they got a pro in this one. And an award-winning illustrator and actor working full-time in Tabletop. You can
oh yeah, looks like they got a pro in this one. Literally a professional.
see the art that Nala does here. And of course, Nala is a they-them. It's that sort of Cal art.
Nala is a they-them.
Arts style, which I don't think has any place anywhere near D&D.
Why? What? I've seen art styles like this all over D&D. What are you talking about? This is cool. What are you looking for? Draw something better right now.
The art that Nala does here. And of course, Nala is a they-them. It's that sort of Cal Arts style, which I don't think has any place anywhere near D&D. Maybe for other games it's good. You know, Steven's Universe style, if you will.
This is going to break Divorced's heart for the second time since the divorce. But you can do a Steven Universe game with the D&D mechanics. You can play 5th edition in any universe. It's in your head. You guys share the fantasy. If you all agree you would like to be non-binary Steven Universe characters in a Steven Universe campaign, then you can. Or in a fucking campaign where Steven Universe characters just exist, like a fucking Ready Player One of all the queer media. Do that. It doesn't matter. Like that, it happens in your head. You can do that. You can do anything you want in D&D. There is no rule. Like, the rules about D&D are bound within the archetypes, but even then you can just do whatever you want. Like, you don't have to play any of the fucking classes that are listed in D&D. It literally says at the beginning of the book, this is like guidelines on how to play the game. Play the game. You don't even have to use dice, man. You don't have to use any of the systems in the game. You can change them. You can do whatever you want. At this point, we play so much D&D. All my shit's homebrewed as hell. Like, we have special rules and stuff.
I'm sure it has a place somewhere. Just get it away from fantasy RPGs, please. There's Scott DeBoard. Scott owns the Silver Dragon Games, Arizona's best D&D store, 2026 Gamma Retailer of the Year, community-driven game store, intentionally designed to create a welcoming space for women and new players. So that says to me this person is probably very much a virtue signaler. And let me just say this too.
Aren't you literally virtue signaling? What's the virtue signal? Just to design and welcome space for women and new players. I mean, I think this is necessary in a hobby where guys like you are saying that they can't be included. Like, this is only in reaction to your virtue signal of, it's a boys' club. I only want sweaty boys in a stinky game room. No goals allowed. Except on the walls where they can't have opinions pinned up in 2 dimensions.
Whenever somebody goes overboard that much to have a welcoming space for women, I got an eye on you. Those are often, and I'm not alleging anything here, but often those types of people, are the sex pests of the world. So they don't.
I'm not alleging anything here, but also those people are often sex pests, brother. This guy loves and votes for sex pests. He loves that Donald Trump is involved in the Epstein files. He's ecstatic that no one is going to go to prison for that until we win.
They don't fool me. There's Ted Sikora, a.k.a. Nerd Immersion, just a bog standard D&D channel on YouTube. Teos Abadia, one of the most boring channels you will ever see, is Mastering Dungeons, which he does with some other guy. They will put you to sleep in like 20 minutes. If you need something to fall asleep to, I highly recommend Mastering Dungeons.
Dude, he doesn't like anybody else in the creator space. He doesn't like any of the content for the hobby. He doesn't like any of the...
I'm just some sort of butthurt right-winger.
He is. He's a butthurt right-winger. He doesn't like any of the other talent. He doesn't like fucking anything about this. He's literally here to be like... It's like a guy who watches football and then was like, when I was in high school playing, we were way better than this fucking NFL team. Like, shut up, dude. Idiot.
Untalented person who is now collecting a little paycheck from Wizards of the Coast. And we have Zach Clay. Zach is a professional DM from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Hey, if they're just giving out jobs like this all willy-nilly, I'll work for Wizards of the Coast. They could use some of my input. They could use my input. I am good at homebrew. Tell me what you want and I will fucking build it. Tell me what class you want to play that's not in the game. I will make it. I can make a new subclass or a race in like fucking no time.
Sure, he's a nice solid conservative coming from San Francisco Bay. Coordinates youth D&D programs.
Youth D&D? No, not a child's hobby. No. I have also thought about getting back into education someday, and if doing so, a D&D club would be near the top of my list between that and coaching basketball. But yeah, those would be my 2 passions. I would love that. I think it's so wonderful to get, especially young, like adults, like teenagers, being goofy with their friends, sharing the space. Like D&D is a very collaborative social thing, and it's very good, especially for developing adults and especially for already developed adults. It's wonderful for everybody. It's a delightful third space.
Entering the next generation of TTRPG storytellers. Yeah, so they obviously needed a black face here, and congratulations, Zach. I've never heard of you. Nobody has ever heard of you, but you are now the token on the advisory committee. Now, keep in mind, all of these people are going to have a say in what D&D products look like. Mike Shea is Sly Flourish.
A lot of racism coming from this guy every time.
The Lazy RPG Talk Show.
So it's like if they hire a bunch of black people, it's woke. If they hire a sparse amount of black people, it is tokenism. Like, there's just no good way to involve non-white, non-men people into this hobby without this guy having umbrage. Do you think maybe the problem is Divorced and Dragons and not everybody else who likes the hobby? I do.
Return of the Lazy DM, Forge of Foes. He has his fans. He had a lot more fans earlier, and then he started to get political. He did some sweeping for Wizards of the Coast when they were running down Gary Gygax, from what I remember. He was kind of defending them. And so here is Mike. Ladies, the 2% of you that watch my channel, and try not to swoon too much over.
Oh, only 2% of your viewers identify as women? Couldn't be me, dude. Mine's much higher. I'm way cooler.
Over Mike. This is Forge of Foes. This is a Kickstarter he did a little while ago where he felt compelled in a monster book to talk about anti-colonial play.
That's fun. I think this is interesting because really what this is talking about is trying to move away from the trope of your fantasy being a European fantasy game. And from the perspective of the European fantasy adventurers. Like, it's one thing to include European fantasy adventurers or the archetypes of that in your game, and it's another to be that. And I think people that don't realize that they're doing it all the time could benefit from finding out that they could play a different kind of game and they could have fun. This is totally fine. You also can play colonialist D&D. I think it would be very hard to find yourself the hero in that situation because you would be displacing people violently, but you could definitely do it. It's your choice. It's an RPG.
Ongoing legacy of colonialism is the foundation of a great deal of what's wrong in the world. Talking about the history of our modern age being defined by specific groups of people laying claim to the entire world over centuries of exploration and not caring that the rest of the world had other peoples living in it at the time.
Dude, the other people's living in it, and it's like, well, I think this art is definitely a normal happenstance for every one of the people that we have colonized. It must be right. If they do this, then it must be right to murder them and genocide them. Surely if they do this, then we can kill everybody with impunity, including their children. Like, that's the implication here, which is, of course, racist and crazy. Like, what a barbaric way to look at it. I don't think that if you see someone else doing a blood sacrifice that is less barbaric than the Jesus Christ story, you should be throwing stones and casting aspersion towards these people. Like, hello? You literally think every Sunday you get literally washed and drink washed in and get to imbibe the blood of literal Jesus Christ. Like, get a hold of yourself, you fucking freak. You think this is weirder than what you do? No fucking chance.
Ancestries as adjectives. He did this little example down here. For example, goblin cultists are attacking the village. Goblin
Yeah, of course this is myth.
bandits are attacking the village. Goblin refugees are attacking the village. Goblin men's right activists are attacking the village.
This is like the 50th time he's brought this up on his channel. This has bothered him so bad. He's been ass mad about this for a fucking decade. He cannot get over this fucking line. Goblin men's rights activists are attacking the village. That you are so mad that you bring this up dozens of fucking times in your life means that this is so funny and on the note, like, it nailed you. It read you for fucking filth, Divorced. Divorced is a proper noun now, and I think everyone agrees.
So there you go. All the people on this list are liberal. Some of them will tell you.
They're liberal. Some of them will tell you that they're liberals. Dude, you're so fucking ass mad. It's hilarious.
Mike O'Shea is one of them. And of course, romancing. Who wouldn't want to romance a monster, right?
You've never heard of someone romancing a monster? In a D&D game, the bard seduces the dragon. The most classic fucking, like, joke about bards.
Of course, there's a consent section. What are we doing here? This was...
What are we doing? Consent? In our role-playing games with our friends where we pretend to fuck each other? Better not talk about consenting to sexual scenes. And that's why when Tyrannosaurus started to fuck my NPC, I cut to black. Because I didn't realize that I had successfully done so. I thought I was in for getting bamboozled, and instead we were just getting boozled.
In a monster book. There you go. This is one of the dudes who is going to be telling D&D, Wizards of the Coast, this is what we want. This is what the fans want.
Consent? Yes. Yes, they do want consent. Same guy, by the way, who makes rape jokes.
As Bobby Knight said, if
Don't. I already know where you're going.
If intercourse is inevitable, sit back, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Sorry.
That's someone who's saying you should just accept the incoming sexual assault. Guy who does not want us to learn about how consent works. Coincidence? I'm not making any accusations, of course. This is just my opinion.
So I guess this kind of stuff is probably going to be seeing a little bit more of it. And we have Jen Kretschmer. Jen is an award-winning game designer, author, actual play performer, television actor and producer, and disability consultant, as well as the creator of the Accessibility in Gaming Resource Guide. So there is Jen and her very disturbing eyes. Now, you may remember...
Disturbing eyes? Looks like a person. Are you going to be mad about wheelchairs, like fantasy wheelchair combat? Is this where he gets mad about that?
That name. Maybe it's rattling around in the back of your skull. Like, how do I know, where do I know the name Jen Kretschmer? Well, you may know Jen from this. So you may remember Jen from the Candlekeep Mysteries, and I guess she had an adventure in it. But it was something about what was in that particular adventure. And this comes from a write-up on it. As an ambulatory wheelchair user, Kretschmer says that this was important to her, that her dungeon was a place that she could explore. Mm-hmm. So she is somebody with she can walk, but she chooses to use a wheelchair for some reason.
What do you mean chooses to? Not everyone in a wheelchair is totally paralyzed, dude. Right. Like, for instance, I was born with club feet, and they had to be surgically straightened, but I have a really hard time after a few hours of using my feet, and I become increasingly more reliant on either not moving or mobility aids, like taking rests or up to and including the use of, like, you know, something to hold on to, like a cane or something. I'm not surprised if someday I'm using a wheelchair because of this shit, unless I get an ankle replacement surgery or something. This is normal. This is just ableism about not understanding how people's disabilities can work. Like, you don't have to be paralyzed to need to get around and have a hard time.
Reason. As such, it's filled with fantasy elevators, whether they function by pulley or by magic, she didn't say, and ledges that are accessible by ramps rather than stairs. That's right. She is the ADA dungeon girl.
Okay, but what if the dungeon has ramps? That's cool. That's fine.
All dungeons to be refitted, wants the stairs to be taken out and ramps put in.
You do not have to do that. You don't have to do that. It would make sense for many dungeons to be ramped in many areas, and it makes sense for stairs to exist in some instances. It also is fine if the magical fucking wheelchair can traverse these things. We have real wheelchairs in real life that can traverse these things. Ramps are for moving supplies, done. Right. It could also be they have both, like in real life. Sometimes you're going to have ramps, sometimes you're not. It's whatever. I'm sure everybody who has a player that has a wheelchair in their game is doing it just fine. The wheelchair can go off-road, done. The wheelchair can float, done. Like, it's magic. It's D&D. It's fantasy. Like, you can imagine like a hoverboard, but not a hover chair. Only Professor X gets to hover in his chair. Nobody else. Professor X is cool, except X-Men is woke and gay, so it's not actually. But also it's a classic, so I have to like it. A flying carpet? No. But the ableds can't use ramps? What if they slip and fall?
But yeah, she is now advising Wizards of the Coast.
And then everyone's in wheelchairs because of the ramps. Don't you see how dangerous the slippery slope is that someday we'll all be in chairs with wheels on them? And I hate the idea of racing around in chairs with wheels on them. Makes me mad.
Wheelchair dungeon chick is now advising Wizards of the Coast, and we'll have her fingerprints all over D&D. And in case you thought, well, maybe she's toned things down a little bit, this is Druid City Games over on Blue Sky. Super proud of this character. We work closely with a consultant to build Herja in a way that someone
probably Herja
that uses a chair for mobility could see themselves in the most accurate way. We learned a lot as able-bodied folk. And then Jen pipes in. She must have been that consultant. Very proud of the work we did on Herja and how she turned out. This team was so receptive and excited to find ways to make her incredibly cool and badass while maintaining authenticity and accuracy in her design. An honor to be part of the process. Well, here's Herja.
Yeah. The veteran of 100 battles, Herja has seen more than her fair share of conflict. Nothing could have prepared her for the arena. 1 champion board, 1 champion miniature, 6 champion initiative. What's going on? I don't know what this other stuff is. Oh, that comes with the mini's dope as shit. Yeah, what's wrong with this? Why are we upset? They even explained why the wheelchair exists. Oh, probably a debilitating injury from all the wars. That is a crazy fucking chair. That's even cooler than I thought it was going to be.
That's right.
The javelins.
Right. Drink her in.
Do you not like this? For what reason?
A crippy adventurer named Herja going around.
Crippy? I know he's saying it like crippled, but it sounds like the gang. And so I imagined her crip walking. But like whatever the equivalent would be to like in the chair. And then but I knew that wasn't what he was saying. So now he's just being ableist as fuck. So anyway, yeah, you can have people with disabilities or injuries or mobility needs or whatever in your games. It's not a big deal.
around in a wheelchair. Can't go over any fields. Remember in Lord of the Rings, the hobbits are frolicking through the fields at first, running. Now they need to find roads and paths and sidewalks for adventurers like Herja to go down. This is so
Why? No, they don't.
stupid, so retarded. And of course, Jen herself.
Just slamming the slurs out there as fast as we can. Doesn't actually have it. He just says it's stupid. He doesn't have any actual criticism. No, it's stupid. Why? They can't do it. Why not? So a character with 20 strength can roll a nat 20 and like throw a boulder, but they can't roll a wheelchair through a cornfield. They can wrestle a dragon. They can punch a volcano. They can kill gods. Traversing terrain in a wheelchair would be really tough, though. Even if I'm hasted, even if I have a magical wheelchair, even if I have gauntlets that give me mega strength and flying fucking boots, wings on my back, too disabled for me. That's not my fantasy. I personally love, as a veteran player of D&D and a super veteran DM, I love having a character that is debilitated and not as effective as your standard player character usually desires to be. Someone who has stuff to overcome a little bit.
It's still a little bit of a pill. I cannot explain what it feels like to have medical trauma constantly reactivated by a full month of trying to get a necessary medication refilled and hitting endless systemic obstacles. Every time I have to pick up the phone, I feel an adrenaline surge from the top of my head running through her spine.
What? Okay.
Then she says, I'd really, really love a day without panic attacks. It's been over 2 weeks at this point, and they suck. So there you go. You're one of the advisors for D&D gets daily panic attacks.
So she can't have a job? Huh? I don't even know what this is supposed to mean. Is she a fucking Navy SEAL sniper? Nope, she's making an RPG. I think all it's normal for people to have different problems going on. It's fine to be frustrated with the bad medical system. Like, I think to this guy, other than having gripes like this, if he admits anything is going wrong, it all starts to crumble around him. Like, he just has to have this, like, edifice.
That should make all you D&D fans sleep really, really well as they go to her and say, hey, Jen, can we run this by you? So there we go. We have a...
Yes, someone who has panic attacks is definitely still going to be able to make art.
Group of untalented creators at D&D.
Why is this person untalented? What's untalented about this person? It seems to me that you're upset that they're not a white man. They don't have a fucking bald head and a beard.
Now, those untalented people have to bounce all of their stuff against a hodgepodge of has-beens.
So there's white men, but they have wokeness in their visage. There's something wrong with them.
A hodgepodge.
Yeah, he's got dyed hair. And they both groom. That's bad. I don't like this. I don't like this fucking lip ring. I'm mad. This looks like woke stuff is about to happen.
Of has-beens, never-weres, and Morlocks. This should be...
Why are you calling anybody else a never-was or a has-been? Each and every one of these people literally just got hired by the largest tabletop RPG company on the planet. What are you talking about?
Good. If you had any hope that D&D was going to pull out of their tailspin and right the ship, especially after Dan Ayub apologizing to Luke Gygax, that's not going to be the case. Now we have this advisory panel, and boy, these people, some of the most boring YouTubers, the Dungeon Dudes, I hate. Teo Sabadia is the cure for insomnia. Jen Kretschmer, just a basket case, mentally ill, no good. Then we have wimps like Sly Flourish, basically ashamed of who he is, what race he is.
What race he is? Dog, get your clan mask out and then splatter the inside of it with your gray matter. That is just absolutely such a fucking red flag. What a fucking clan member.
And to me, I find it disgusting. I find him a reprehensible and pitiable fellow.
Cool. Why don't you take your hat and glasses off, say your name into the camera, and then grab the hood out of the closet so everybody can see who the fuck you are, man.
And as I said, all the others on the list, just retailers and tokens.
Fucking Scott.
And people like that. A bunch of nobodies are going to be the new tastemakers for D&D. So good thing there's the OSR and, Hyperborea and Dragon Slayer and games like that. Even Shadow Dark if you want something a little more close to a 5e experience. That's a good game too. So yeah, lots of good options out there. It's just never-ending amusement watching D&D just make bad decision after bad decision. And anytime you put someone like Jen Kretschmer in an advisory role, oh boy, this should be good. So you let me know in the comments what you think. Is this going to be as big a disaster as I think, or...
Come on. Call to action. Leave a comment. Hey, how do you feel? Hey, chat, leave a comment and let me know how you feel about Divorced. How do you feel like Divorced is doing with his content? Do you think he's a has-been or a never was? Let me know down below. Subscribe immediately. Jesus, fuck. This guy sucks. He stinks.